Alright guys, what's going on? So today I'm going to talk to you about something that I have been wondering for a really long time actually, and I actually did some research on it finally. And that's if the Civic Si is actually worth it, the 10th gen Civic Si, compared to the Civic Sport. Because who doesn't love a hatchback? I love hatchbacks. My first car was a hatchback. So if I was just going to go off a limb here, I would totally get the hatchback. But there are definitely some differences between the two. So right off the bat, let's just start talking about what they come as is. So, with the Civic Si compared to the Hatch Sport, there's a $2,600 price gap, which is a decent price gap. Around, I mean, if you're going to go and say like a 2% APR and do the loan for like 5 years, we'll say, it's about a $70 price difference per month. So, I mean, $70 isn't a huge amount, but could be a lot for a lot of people. So let's just go off the basics here and where the big difference is. They both have the 1.5 liter turbo, but the SI has 205 horsepower compared to 180 and 192 foot-pounds of torque compared to 177. Not big power differences. I mean, I'm sure noticeable because the SI also does come with the sport mode for a stiffer setting for the dampeners, and also to get peak boost and improve throttle response. So that's right off the bat a really good thing. But later I'm going to talk to you about why it really isn't such a big thing if you're going to go a little bit farther with these cars. One of the biggest differences between the SI and the Hatch, though, is that the SI gets the limited slip differential. So that's really great for people who want to go to the track on weekends and use it as their daily as well, or just build the living hell out of it and go ahead and just use it as a track only car. So that's cool, but if you're going to go and just use it as a daily driver, the limited slip diff is nice, I'm sure, like, because I have it. But how much use are you going to get out of it is the big thing if you're just going to daily it. Also, when you buy the SI, you also get a bunch of nice interior things with it. So you get a better infotainment center, or the radio. So one big thing with the SI, though, is, which I'm really not a fan of, is it only comes in a sedan or a coupe. I honestly don't like either of them that much. Really, look at the hatch. It's so fucking cool. So out of the box, differences between the SI and the Hatch is more power, of course, like I just said. You also get a sunroof. You also get a different radio. Dual climate control instead of single climate control. I mean, that's all really nice for that just $2,600 price gap. Maybe it's not as important to a lot of people, but definitely helps it. I mean, what a lot of people will say, that $2,600 will go, basically takes into account for the limited slip differential, which I do agree, because they're pretty fucking expensive. They're about $1,000. And then all the interior stuff is also nice. I mean, usually I'm not like crying over those interior things, but after getting a little bit more into all these options that you can get, it's really nice. So that's definitely something cool. So let's get a little bit more in specific as far as differences. Let's talk about the engines right now. They both are the 1.5 liter turbo. That is true. But the SI has 20.3 psi as a peak boost or max boost compared to 16.5 on the Hatch. Also, it has a little bit higher compression. So 10.6 for the SI and 10.3 for the non-SI. Also, the turbo is different. The non-SI has a 9-vane turbo, and the SI has an 11-vane turbo. Of course, you get better brakes, both vented, bigger brake setup for the SI compared to the Hatch. For the SI, you also get bigger tires, stiffer suspension, bigger sway bars, I believe, as well, or at least stiffer, we'll say. Different shifter, so you're going to have a short throw, barely a short throw, but still 11%, I guess, is a short throw compared to the hatch. The SI has a better intake as well, and a better exhaust, just out of the box factory again, like we're talking. Big thing about the connecting rods though for the SI engine is they actually are harder than the non-SI ones. So you're talking about a little bit stronger, able to hold more power. I mean, they're similar, but still actually pretty much different when you look at the numbers as far as a Rockwell scale. So the base, just the hatch, is 22 HRC, and the SI is a 28 HRC. So that doesn't seem like a big difference, but it actually is. So the SI naturally could take a lot more boost. I'm not going to say a lot more boost, but definitely a lot more boost. Also, one more thing I did forget to mention is that the intake cam on the SI is different as well. For the transmission, of course, differential, main shaft, flywheel, all different compared to the hatch. The nice thing about the 11-vane turbo on the SI though is that the 11-vane will spool a little bit quicker than just the hatch will. So overall, what I just talked about is out of the box performance and what you get out of it for the extra $2,600. So let's talk about, is it really worth it or not? So this is just some numbers I found. The SI with let's see, an intake and downpipe and a tune, of course, will yield you about 250 horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque. It's pretty freaking good, honestly. I mean, turbo cars are king when it comes to just minimal mods for the power. The hatch would get, with the same mods, 224 horsepower and 282 foot-pounds of torque. And that is at 22 psi for the hatch. I don't really know for the SI. And they're both tuned on 93. So you're looking at a 26 horsepower difference and 18 torque difference. That's not a whole lot for, I mean, this little bit. I mean, I know you can go to E85, really ramp up the boost. That, when that's the case though, the hatch will fail like really quick compared to the SI because of the whole connecting rods. They're a lot different. So they have the potential as they sit to be almost at the same power. Reliably, I don't know, but the two different cars for that $2,600 for parts that you're going to buy for both. Let's be honest. So that $2,600 is like, it's non-existent. It's just money in your pocket. They get some pretty similar numbers, which is really cool. Which like appeals to me because I would want the hatch. Because look how good it is. Again, let's talk about this now. Let's say you were hell-bent on buying a hatch and you wanted to track the shit out of it, alright? Or make it like the same as an SI or better. So let's take that $2,600, right? You can find an SI at a junkyard and pull a trans, and I did a little bit of research on carparts.com, and the transmission costs $800 to $1,500. So at the most expensive, you're talking about still, what, $1,100 still in your pocket compared. That's if you did all the work yourself, and if you're able to mess with the computer, if it needs to be, which it might be, so that it would be able to accept everything else from it. So, or pull some crazy codes or throw some crazy lights from driving it because it's not the same thing if it's not calibrated properly. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that. But let's just take that $1,500, right? You're still $1,100 in. Now you have an LSD hatch. Basically, almost, not yet, a Civic Hatch SI, which is awesome. Let's say you go big and go with PRL, okay? PRL turbo kit, big turbo kit, which I believe is around $1,600 around there starting at. So now you're spending basically $500 to get a big turbo kit. But if you don't care about the interior, if you don't care about just the little small things like sunroof or the seats with an SI, I mean, you can definitely make a hatch definitely into a competitor for it, even though out of the box it gets all these nice things. So, I mean, it's really cool. And honestly, I would try to, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money that you kind of plan on saving almost. So, what do I think between the two? With the SI, you get more power, that's for sure. Out of the box, you get nicer things with it. I mean, really cool, nice interior. I actually really, really, really like the interior of the new 10th Gen SI. It's really freaking cool. You get the sport mode, you get nice seats, you get the radio, you get dual climate control. All really cool stuff. You get the limited slip differential without having to dick around trying to get it. It's all really nice stuff for the extra $2,600 out of the box. Yes, for sure. For the hatch, you don't get the better engine internals. You get a hatch. That's the big thing with the hatch. All you get is the hatch, which is a big thing for a lot of people. I mean, it's really cool. But between the two out of the box, is that $2,600 well spent? I believe it is. Hell yeah, it is. Now, if I was going to say, if you're going to not use it as just a daily, or how do I say it? Like, if you want to just get an SI, just run around, dick around, whatever, just use it daily. Don't take it to a track, everything else like that. Just keep you on your feet, really? I don't think so. I mean, with the tune and a couple parts, you can get almost the same amount of power from the hatch, and you get the hatch, and you save money. I mean, it's not bad. And if you're really hell-bent on building the fuck out of this thing, you can. So if you're going to ask me what I would pick out of these, I mean, looking at the Civic Si, you get the limit slip diff, you get the nice interior, you get the nice seats, you get the nice radio, you get the sunroof. I mean, you get all this nice stuff for that extra $2,600. If you're not going to touch either car, yes, it would totally be worth it. Especially just to keep you on your toes as a nice daily, and maybe keep it out and go to the track. Because it will handle better, it will be faster, it will do all this sorts of stuff. You know what I'm saying. I mean, you can go down lists, do your own research. I mean, there's a lot to it that definitely justifies that extra $2,600. But here's the thing. I really like the hatch. And if I didn't care so much about handling or this or that, just those small things, and if I wanted a little bit more power, the extra $2,600, you can definitely use it to get as fast as an SI, stock SI, or faster. I mean, it's really easy to do it. It's a turbo car. They got the same engine. They just got a little bit different internals. You just shouldn't go too crazy on a hatch, because, I mean, eventually you will blow it up if you try to put as much power or match these built SI guys. It's just a fact. If you're going to ask me what I would pick, though, I would pick the hatch for sure, because I don't go to the track. I don't try to take corners really fast. I really don't need all the extra stuff out of the hatch. And if I want to make it faster, I can really easily with the extra $2,600. I mean, we're talking about intake downpipe tune, or intake exhaust tune. That'll definitely get you over 200 wheel. And that's on the Dynajet, actually. I forgot to mention that. So, I like the utility of the hatch. I like how it looks. It looks so good. I'll say it again, because I mean it. I mean, it's great, honestly. I mean, if you really want to be as fast as an SI guy, you got a long way to go, especially if you want to do it on a track. But, I mean, I'm talking about these built SI guys again. I mean, because on E85, these guys are pushing well over 300 horsepower. I mean, it's crazy. Because E85, that corn juice will make you go. But it's still doable. I'm not going to say it's impossible for just the hatch guys. They just need more work. They need more to go through it all. But that's why I would pick a hatch. It's doable. I'll just take that money and run, really. I mean, if I really want to go for it and I have an obscene amount of money for whatever reason to put money into a Civic, I'll do it. But final thoughts on this. What one should you get? It's honestly up to you. If you don't want to mess with it, if you just want to keep it as is, add on a couple parts, I would get the SI. I mean, that's cool. And if you want to build it, even more power to you. You do it. It's just that much easier to get a good lot of power out of it. If you really want the hatch though, like if you're going between should I get an SI or should I get a hatch, get the hatch. There's nothing wrong with it. You just won't be as fun as a daily without a little bit of work. But you have the extra money to make it into that. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed my rambling and thoughts. If you liked the video, please press that like button because the algorithm has changed, as I'm sure a lot of you know. And if you want to see more content like this, more thoughts, more just videos altogether, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you later.